Welcome to the Ask Fellow Skinny podcast with a guest. I'm proud to present Howard Martin. Howard, welcome to the show.
Peter, good to be with you all the way there in Slovenia. This is exciting. I'm happy to have the opportunity to speak with you.
Thank you. And I'm really looking forward to all your background story. And if you would be so kind and explain to our listeners and viewers what you're doing. I believe you have tremendous experience, and I would like to know more.
Well, yeah, I've been doing this for a long time now, Peter. My own personal growth process, where I recognize that that's what life was about. It was about growing, changing, adapting, and then leaving something behind of value. That started over 50 years ago. I'm in my mid 70s now. I've been a part of HeartMath since its inception, since Doc Childre founded HeartMath. And that's like 35 years ago. It's amazing. It's been that long, but it's 35 years. So, here at HeartMath, what we do is we built a system consisting of methods, techniques, science, and even technology to help people learn how to better regulate their emotions, how to live a more heart-based and heart-centered life, and then see the results of that. And the results that we've had are amazing. We've got a huge footprint all around the world. Many millions of people have experienced some aspect of HeartMath and have seen it, make changes in their life. So we work in a lot of different societal sectors. We work in medicine, we work in finance, we work in business, we work in education, and we work with people, just people who want to improve themselves, again, all over the world. I think our products and services have been purchased by people in over 120 countries now. So it's been quite a journey for me. I have the role today of executive vice president, um, and it's amazing that I've had this chance to be a part of something that's helping people so much and also have a leadership role in it and have the opportunity to do fun things like today, like be with you. So that's a little bit of my background. Yeah.
Amazing. I would like to jump more into what you do now and uh, what can you share about aging and avoiding burnout, and also how can we get out of the midlife crisis? Because I'm certain that you have solution for that as well.
Well, one of the things I'm talking about today is the stress that people are experiencing in life. It's not my favorite thing to talk about. There's more things that would be fun for me, but I want to talk about where people are and what many of their needs may be. And what I'm seeing, Peter, is that we're living in an era of high-speed change, where more change is happening in less time than ever before in the history of humankind. And as that change accelerates, it presents great opportunity for creation of new things, newness in ourselves, newness in society, newness in the world. But at the same time, it's creating chaos and a tremendous amount of confusion. And many people today are having difficulty with that change. And it's creating an extraordinary amount of stress that's building up in people's systems. As a result of that, their nervous systems are going into chaos. Nervous system chaos is affecting so many people today. And as I continue with this, let me just say this to you, the listener and viewer. If you're experiencing any of this, please don't feel bad. It's something that many people are going through. So don't feel like you're ever alone. But many people today are just trying to get one foot in front of the other, just trying to make it through a day. They've lost contact with what a good day is even like. They're just trying to survive through it. That's not healthy, and that does create aging. It's how we age. We age so much through not just the physical body, but through the emotions and the thoughts that we have. And so, one of the feelings that I have today about what I can do is to help people better understand their stresses and then also better understand how to regulate their emotions so they have less of the impact of stress as they lead their lives. We do that through science. We do that through our technology. We do that through our training programs. And we do it through having opportunities like today to share this information in a form and venue like yours on a podcast.
Amazing. Can you disclose, for example, a method that you use or that is dear to you and that you believe that everyone could do it, either at home, either with coach, either with your help?
Well, let me explain this first, if I may, Peter. When we think about aging, aging is about loss of energy. Energy is what gives us life. And there are different kinds of energy. We have our physical energy. We know that. We also have mental energy and we have emotional energy. And all of that ties together in a wholeness kind of a way. Now, as we lose energy, we increase aging. As we add energy, we reduce the effects of aging. And that happens more at the emotional level than anywhere else. And I'll explain that if I may. Let's say every day we experience many different perceptions of a lot of different things we go through in life. And every time we have a strong negative emotional reaction, we are losing energy. I'll use this cup with water in it as an example. And I'm sure here in this room, this will be okay for me to do this. I hadn't planned on it, but I'm going to anyway. We watch the news and we see something that upsets us. We get mad at a politician. We lose energy. We begin to worry about our finances and we think about it and we process it over and over, lose energy. We are concerned about our health issues or the health issues of someone that we love, and we have anxiety about that. All those different things, we again lose energy. However, we go see our kids or our grandkids. We feel the love and the care. Energy goes back in. We have somebody appreciate us for something that we've done, for the good work that we've done, and we feel that appreciation inside ourselves. Boom, we add energy back in. So it's a matter of how we play the game of life emotionally that determines the amount of energy we accumulate or the amount of energy that we lose. Now, the question becomes, when we go to bed at night, do we add more energy or lose more energy? That's a question, a simple question, but an important question. Do we add more or do we lose more? So in order to manage the emotions that we're going to feel, because life is, again, chaotic, crazy, and often stressful, we have to learn to better regulate our emotions. Now, what we learn, Peter, is that that process is not happening just up here in our minds alone. It happens in our heart. Our work here at HeartMath is all about understanding heart at the physical, emotional, and spiritual level. What we found through our research, we've been doing research now for over 35 years, and there are over 400 published research papers on HeartMath, peer-reviewed studies in a variety of different contexts with us. At the core of that, here's what we learned. We learned that the physical heart is not just pumping blood. It's actually an information processing center in our bodies. The physical heart is sending information to the brain and throughout the rest of the system. And the information the heart is sending is critically important to how we function physiologically. Now, as we learn how to better use that communication, how to harness it, how to improve it, we get a tremendous amount of benefits. I'll give you an example. The heart has a nervous system. Most people don't know this. Very complex nervous system. Next to the brain, it's the most complex part of the nervous system we have. That nervous system is sending information all the way up into the brain, all the way up into the higher perceptual centers of the brain. Brain function is critically dependent upon this information, right? That's an information pathway, for example, in which the heart is doing that. When we are feeling stressed, the signals that are going from heart back to brain begin to shut down the higher perceptual centers of the brain. Conversely, when we make that shift inside, when we go from feeling frustrated and angry to feeling caring and kind and appreciative, the signals change. We then send information up to the brain that opens the brain up. And it's going throughout the whole body, Peter. So it's affecting all the cells in the body, everything. The hormones that are being released in the body are all being impacted by the quality of this heart-brain-body communication. I hope everybody's with me, because now I'll take it to the next level. We measure this. We can measure it. We measure it by looking at changes in what generically I will call our heart rhythms. The medical or scientific term for that is heart rate variability analysis, the changing rhythmic patterns that have how the heart is beating. When we go to a doctor, the doctor says, Howard, your heart rate's 75 beats a minute. I never questioned that. But what that doctor told me was only an average. My heart is constantly changing speeds all the time. It's supposed to vary. As we get older, we actually lose heart rate variability. So we want a lot of flexibility in the rhythmic beating patterns that the heart can produce. So we measure it through looking at these changes. What we found is that many things impact heart rate variability. Primarily the movement, speech. When I'm moving like this, when I move my hands, the heart is subtly changing its rhythmic beating pattern to pump blood as it needs to. But what we found through our research is that emotions impact it.
Mhm.
We've got many, many studies. This very famous HeartMath graph showing appreciation versus frustration. Someone in our research lab, they're sitting in a chair, they're not moving, they're not talking. We ask them to think about something that makes them feel frustrated. They start thinking about that. They start feeling the frustration. Their heart rhythm patterns go into chaos. Then we ask the same person, why don't you feel appreciation for the good things in your life instead? They begin to find a feeling of appreciation or gratitude inside themselves. And the heart rhythm patterns start looking like a smooth, ordered sine wave. So chaotic patterns immediately shift. The body's responding to this, Peter.
Mhm.
It's adding energy when we have that smooth sine wave like pattern. It's losing it when we have this. Those heart rhythms are impacting brain function. They are impacting the nervous system. That nervous system impact is determining what hormones are being released into our body. The chaotic rhythms are producing too many of the hormones we don't want, a lot of, too much adrenaline, too much cortisol. On the other side, the harmonious, more coherent rhythms are producing hormones we do want. The anti-aging hormone, DHEA, for example, increases. The love hormone, oxytocin, regenerative hormone, it increases. And all of this is changing. So what we do is we measure it, we scientifically understand it. And then we have techniques that help people make that little shift from the frustration that they're feeling to the appreciation. And we have more techniques than that, but simple techniques. We also have technology people use. It starts with the sensor. It's called the HeartMath, Coherence Plus sensor. It attaches to an app, the HeartMath app. You attach it to your ear, you begin to measure your heart rhythms. You can see those changes happening in real time. And then through the content that's in the app, we train people. How do you make these shifts? How do you better manage and regulate your emotions? How do you more consistently have emotions that regenerate you and have less of the emotions that degenerate you? And so the technology helps people in that way. The impacts are physical, right on down to the physical body. They are also, of course, emotional. We begin to experience and perceive life differently. We don't see it through the stressful lens that we often experience it as often. Yeah, we're going to have stress. I do. I'm sure you do, Peter. Everybody does in some form, but it doesn't have to build up and accumulate to the point where it degenerates us, accelerates our aging, and reduces the quality of life. A long answer to your simple question, but I wanted people to understand these things about their heart, about heart. The last thing I'll say about it is this, is that what really makes those changes happen in heart rhythms is activation of those qualities that have long been associated with heart, with the word heart.
Mhm.
Now, everybody has an understanding of that. And when it comes down to it, Peter, after doing this for many years, it gets more simple for me in some ways. And what I've learned is that the key to longevity, the key to having that meaningful quality life comes down to this. It comes down to how much love we are experiencing. That sounds soft. We've got science to prove it. But it is about love. It is about demonstrating the qualities of love. And they can be simple. Just being a little kinder to other people, a little less judgmental of everything, a little more understanding, a little more compassion. Those are heart qualities, and there are aspects of love. So the more we manifest those, the more vitality we're going to have. I mentioned earlier, I'm in my mid 70s now, and people ask me all the time, you're in your mid 70s? How can this be? You're an executive, you're working a 50-plus hour job every week. I've had no major health issues. I've never spent a night in a hospital, never. And I'm physically active, cyclist, and all those kind of things. And people ask me, well, how is this even possible for you? And the simple answer is I make an effort every day to love more
Mhm.
and to try to manifest those qualities in how I walk in this world. And if people will do that, they'll see improvements in their life all the way down to the physical body.
Amazing. And I really like how you have shown us that you have a device and app that can
Yeah,
help trace that. So everything is scientific. It's not just esoteric. Do this,
that's
do
right.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we started HeartMath years ago, we recognized if we were going to introduce a heart-based system into a very often heartless world, we had to take heart out of just philosophy and spirituality. It had to become practical. It had to become something people could really understand and believe in. And we needed to build a bridge between this sort of intuitive understanding everyone has about heart and daily living. We chose science to be the bridge. So I think one of the things that here at HeartMath we're most famous for is building that bridge, adding science to the process. So yes, it is about heart, but it's about practical heart. It's about a scientific understanding of things like heart-brain body communication, uh, and about heart rate variability. These type of scientific qualities and aspects are part of what we do. And as a result, I mentioned earlier, we've worked in a lot of societal sectors, including health professionals. And I know, Peter, you're a health professional. And we know just looking at HeartMath's database right now that we have over 90,000 health professionals using HeartMath
Mhm.
in a variety of societal sectors, psychologists, physical cardiologists, it goes on, that are using HeartMath. So it has helped people in mainstream society. And I think the reason it has is because we have approached it by adding science to the process.
Amazing. I really like how you put it and you make it seem so simple. 'Cause it's my experience is that this is really hard, especially when you're down and you're disappointed in something, and then you have to somehow find love in your life and
Yeah.
gratitude, and it's really hard. Um, but where there's a will, there's a way, they say.
Well, yeah, we're going to experience a lot of things, Peter, and no emotion is really bad. It's just about learning to make emotional choices. And it isn't easy when we have the stress build up in our system, when we become habituated to these negative emotions. With a little practice, a little heart focused attention, and you can be assisted with things like the HeartMath Coherence Plus sensor and the app. And other things. There are many great things out there. If people just make a little bit of effort, they'll see results. It is hard, but it's easier sometimes than we think. Just we become creatures of habit. You know, we wake up in the morning complaining about life, and the day continues to be that sort of a day. Instead, we can wake up and begin to look for things that are good in our life, for example, even if it's going to be a tough day. And there's often things that we can really see in our lives that are going well. And I think it's just an inner attitude shift that people need to begin to want. And if they want it, then they'll find resources like ours, like HeartMath and others that can help make that shift. In the end of the day, the result is a better life, a life that's more enjoyable, more fulfilling, and it does contribute to longevity, um, and health and the various things that I know you focus on and what you try to help people with through your podcast.
Howard, thank you for all these insights. Before I let you go, I would like to know, where can our listeners get in touch with you? Where can they get the app? Where can they get the gadget?
Yeah, very simple, Peter, and thanks for asking the question. Go to heartmath.com. I'll spell it because sometimes people don't understand my accent exactly, but it's HeartMath.com. On the HeartMath site, you will find free things. You will find information about the HeartMath sensor and app. There are lots of wealth of information there on that, on the site. And take it from there, explore, see what's there that may be of interest to you, something that you may find helpful, and just have some fun taking a look. And that's the best way to do it at heartmath.com.
Howard, thank you again for all these insights, and thank you for being my guest tonight.
Peter, I want to thank you for having me. And I want to also offer you appreciation right now because you take your time to do this. This is something that you don't have to do. But I think your care and your interest in helping people through midlife crisis and through the aging process and all is important work. And I want to thank you for having a podcast. And also, lastly, say thank you for having me as a guest.
Thank you.